Division is the oldest trick in politics, and the cheapest.
Oh, they're good. I was waiting for that. They said, you start speaking, they won't interrupt you at all. They didn't interrupt us at all. Thank you. They're fantastic. What great, incredible, talented pilots. Thank you very much.
Well, another birthday for America has come and gone. Trump made good with his promise to have a long speech for July 4th, and it was a great one. I mean, it was a classic Trump charisma of just nonstop rambling about how great America is. It's exactly what you would want to hear your politicians say about their own country on the birthday of the country. But the Democrats, well, they were mostly downers regarding that, constantly with the Democrats. Did you know that America was founded on racism? Hey, did you know that America was founded on genocide? Did you know that America was founded on sexism? Over and over with these people, though worryingly, they too do have their eyes set to the horizon, as I have shown there with Mamdani's little bit. It's not quite the horizon that America's used to, though. Theirs is a little bit more communistic, a little bit more Islamic. I'm not super in favor of that, and I don't think Trump is either. So hopefully we just keep the ball rolling in the way of capitalism and Christianity. I mean, it's been working fine so far. And, look at all the other places that have become communists, all the other places that have become Islamic. It's not really going so well for them, is it? It's not really what I want to see America become anyway, but a lot of people these days, they seem to think that just because they're envious of billionaires, that means that America is an evil country. They seem to think that just because they watched a Hollywood movie that told them that everyone in America is racist and sexist and no one outside of this country is, that means America should be destroyed. Well, thankfully, we have Trump and other politicians like him who are standing up and saying something positive about the country, because there are plenty of positive things to say about the country, something that you can clearly glean from listening to people talk about the pros and cons of immigrants. Well, you see, the pros of immigrants is that they bring over shawarma. Oh, wow, great. So you're telling me that out of your entire country, not just your religion, not just your culture, not just your people's traditions, your entire country, what it has to offer is chicken tikka masala. And that's why you should come over to our country. Well, okay. I mean, America's given a little bit more back to the world, I think, and generally speaking, but apparently having one or two yummy cuisines means that you get free entry into America in perpetuity. Weird, isn't it?
Know that American history has not always been a fairy tale. From the start, it's been a constant push and pull for more than 240 years. Between the best of us, the American ideal that we're all created equal, and the worst of us, a harsh reality that racism has long torn us apart. It's a battle that's never really over. But on the best days, enough of us have the guts and the hearts to stand up for the best in us, to choose love over hate, unity over disunion, progress over retreat, to stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did in my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Tonight, we gather on the eve of one of the most extraordinary days in the history of the world. Tomorrow, we mark 250 years of glorious independence and 250 years of majestic American freedom. Nothing like it. In all the chronicles of the ages, never before has any nation celebrated so magnificent a triumph as this one, the one that we are participating in right now. At 250 years, America is the oldest republic on earth. We are the freest people on earth. We have the most righteous and enduring constitution on earth. We are the strongest and most powerful country on earth. And by the grace of God, the United States of America is the most successful, most accomplished, most exceptional nation ever to exist in human history. And it is great to be your president. It is great. For a quarter of a millennium, liberty, justice, equality, self-government, and unmatched prosperity have flourished here as they have never flourished anywhere before. There is nothing like what we are doing.
Well, that's all well and good, Mr. Trump, but you can't forget the past. We can never forget the past. The Democrats like to think they're the only people who learn from the past, but it's not that they're learning from the past. It's that they can't let go of the past because they're utilizing it as a tool to get votes with, constantly telling people that, oh, white people are racist, constantly telling people men are sexist, constantly telling people that America is the great Satan. Everyone's so focused on the past, opening up the borders for infinite immigrants to come enrich our country. Meanwhile, Trump and those like him are focused on the future. They're focused on making America better, or I guess in his slogan, great again. I would prefer to let him handle the happy, positive side of things, because I'm doing this off the cuff with no script, and it's a little bit hard to be positive with no script. It's much easier to be doom and gloom, to think about how Kamala Harris and Mamdani and AOC and all the people like them want to constantly remind us that America is evil, that white people are evil, that Christians are evil, that men are evil, and that we should constantly feel like we owe the world something. And even inside of America, even Americans inside of America, that we should owe them as well.
The birth and survival of the American nation under God is quite simply the best and most incredible thing ever to happen on this planet by human hands ever. That is ever, ever, ever. No other country has done more good for this world than the United States of America. And we give thanks for these extraordinary blessings. We remember that what we have created in this country is not the natural way of the world. It is not the norm. It is the exception. It is rare. It is priceless. And it is truly miraculous.
But what's funny is Mamdani, in his July 4th speech, also called America exceptional, except he was calling it exceptional in that it's a country that's easy to conquer with foreign ideals. That's sort of what he meant when he called it exceptional. I'm going to play just a quick, 1 minute supercut here of Mamdani's 4th of July speech. Now, this isn't exactly out of context, because his context is that America is evil and all the immigrants need to go conquer it, but it is stitched together from his speech, so there are edits in it, just to be entirely clear here.
Division is the oldest trick in politics, and the cheapest. Too many of our leaders do not believe in a vision of this nation as an asylum for the persecuted, but rather as one that persecutes those seeking asylum. The powerful have always known their answer. America, in their view, is an arena of supremacy, where only a select few are allowed freedom, where not all are created equal. America, if you ask them, becomes less the more people it welcomes. America, they will tell you, belongs only to those with the right accent or the right shade of skin. There is a term so often used to describe our nation and those who have shaped it: American exceptionalism. American exceptionalism, the conventional wisdom tells us, makes our freedom a little more free, is how we dug the Erie Canal and irrigated the West, is why children in faraway lands grow up dreaming of one day moving here. And yet the irony is that the story of America has so often been written by those who were told by others with power and influence and wealth that they were anything but exceptional. For generation after generation, we have been told that when the world has sent its people to our shores, it has not sent its best. It sent Puritans and Sikhs and Quakers and Muslims and Jewish people who were banished for praying the wrong way, worshiping the wrong gods, angering the wrong people. It sent peasants and serfs from slums and shtetls who were treated as less because they hardly owned clothes, let alone land. Hundreds of thousands of Irish immigrants arrived with stomachs aching from a famine manufactured by imperial cruelty. Chinese sailors settled in what is today Chinatown. Millions more traveled under the Statue of Liberty and through Ellis Island. Jewish people escaping pogroms, Italians fleeing poverty, Syrians seeking economic opportunity. They could not yet see the nativism they would face, the jobs they would be refused, the landlords who would not rent to them, and the abject labor and living conditions they would withstand. But no matter how much smog hung over the harbor, they still saw an opportunity to begin anew. Over the years that followed, despite laws enacted by the federal government to bar their entry, despite sweatshop fires that killed hundreds of women, despite riots aimed at their very existence, immigrants made homes here in New York City.
Throughout the entire story of humanity, most people in most places have lived a life plagued by suffering, poverty, exploitation, violence, and misery. But here in America, in this land, on this continent, we have written a very different story. It's a tale of adventure, liberation, and unmatched greatness. It's the story of people governing themselves, the many uniting as one, the men and women rising by their own skill and talent to go further and reach higher than anyone has ever gone before. There has never been anything like this. The triumph of American independence was the result of the most extraordinary people in history, the most extraordinary culture in history, and the most extraordinary ideas in history, all creating the most extraordinary republic ever, ever, ever in history. It all came together for the miracle of July 4th, 1776. That was a big year. 250 years ago tomorrow, what a big day that is. I consider this a big day because I'm with you. I like that too. And by the way, we won big here. We won really big. Each and every time.
Isn't it stark, the contrast between what Trump says and what Mamdani says? Mamdani sitting here withering away at America, trying to undermine it and destroy it, very seldomly giving the slightest of compliments towards its declaration of independence or some such, but otherwise saying that America is straying from its purpose and that immigrants are needed to come over and make sure that it stays on course. Meanwhile, Trump is saying that America is the greatest place ever. Mamdani is saying that all these immigrants from foreign countries, they're only coming to America because of what? Because they're starving? Because they're poor? But at the same time, America is supposed to want them to come over? America is trying to keep them out, but they're coming over anyway? And that makes America bad? That's just called a border, my friends. And yet, Mamdani doesn't like that sort of thing. Trump, however, says that America is the greatest place ever, ever, and that is why all of these immigrants are coming over. Not because America needs the guidance of foreigners, but because their place sucks, and they want to come to our place. Which, that seems to be the truth, really. And if you like living in other countries, hey, cool. Like, no one's hating you for that. But at the same time, you can't come over to America from your country and try to change it into your country because America sucks. That's nonsense. But it's not just Mamdani, of course. There's loads of them. They hate America at this point. They will hate America, not even for the sake of hating America, but simply because it gets them votes, because it gets them funding for their political campaigns. It's really disturbing that such a thing has been allowed to take root in America, and that it hasn't been more harshly purged by this point.
Right now we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
So you definitely would agree that he's a racist?
I do, yes. And let's be clear, there is no vaccine for racism.
Of this 250th anniversary of American heritage, we resolve and swear for all to hear that the citizens of the United States of America will vanquish communism quickly. Don't let them take too much of your time. You know they're wasting your time, don't you? But we're not going to let them take too long or too much of our time as they play their games and send them into exile. We will send them quickly away, and we will continue to build our country bigger and better and stronger than ever before. America will never be a communist country. We can only lose the midterms if we allow ourselves to lose the midterms, if we are foolish, stupid, and unwise. But if we terminate the filibuster, as we should do, and immediately vote for the Save America Act, then we will not lose an election for 100 years. We do that, we're not going to lose an election for 100 years. The Communist Party is made up of illegal immigrants, criminals, and everybody that doesn't want to work. Communism is a loser. It always was, and it is right now. It's a big loser. Look at the people that are promoting it. They are not the people you're going to follow. In 250 years, the free people of this land have accomplished more with our liberty than any other society has accomplished, even in thousands and thousands of years. As you look back and you study, what our critics will never understand is that America is not the sum of its mistakes. Our mistakes make us human. Our achievements make us American, and nobody has ever had the achievements that we've had.
Well, personally, I would like to think that the Democratic Party, should they survive whatever catastrophe they're currently going through with their socialism, communism, Marxism crap, I would like to think that within 100 years they might rebound to be a little bit more sensible, but I guess that sort of depends on how far down the rabbit hole they go with their current ideology. I am, however, happy to hear Trump specifically mention this problem. He's mentioned it before, but this is a relatively large address rather than just some random gaggle that he does with some news reporters or whatever. So I'm happy to hear him mention it. It's a major problem. I mean, it's an existential problem for America. They intend to change America into something else. I mean, changing is necessary if you feel that something needs to be better, and I do think America can become better. I just don't really trust them to do it, because I don't think their definition of change is a normal American's definition of change. For instance, AOC going off on this tangent.
You know, it's funny because in this op-ed that Jeff Bezos paid for in the Washington Post, there was this line that you had mentioned earlier about, well, as a potential 2028 contender, XYZ. And in the context of that, it was very clear this was a veiled threat, right? So it was the elite saying, if you want this job, you just stepped out of line. And we want you to know where the real power is. And it's in the modern day barons who own the Post and own the algorithms, and we'll make an example out of you. And what's funny about that is that they assume that my ambition is positional. They assume that my ambition is a title or a seat. And my ambition is way bigger than that. My ambition is to change this country.
Well, there you hear it. Right from the donkey's mouth. And she mentioned veiled threats. I mean, veiled threats aren't what the Democrats, the socialist Democrats, are doing, are they? They're just straight up telling you that they're going to take over the country and that they're going to change it, that they're going to persecute every Republican, or really anyone who isn't a Democrat, that they are going to do everything they can to you, up to and including death. I mean, they're not veiling their threats at all. So why exactly would anyone besides a hardliner Democrat vote for these people? And that includes the politicians who are on the Democratic side. Like, you're either a communist or you're not. Pick one. And I think I'd like to think that most of them, but a good amount of the Democrats would probably at least flip temporarily to Republican until whatever this poison is has been cleansed from the Democratic Party. But, you know, I don't know. The future will tell. In the meanwhile, we've got Trump, which is great. I think I really can't see the Democrats winning 2028, but then again, they didn't think Trump would win. So, you know, better buckle up, I suppose. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things. And happy birthday, America.